All right, welcome back to another week of What's Hockey. Keaton, the NHL season has started up. Opening week was upon us. Plenty of hockey to be played. We saw a new team, though, emerge, the Utah Hockey Club. What are your first thoughts on their first three games?
Well, they're looking pretty good. I mean, they won 6-5 in overtime last night against the Rangers, which is pretty good team. I mean, Shesterkin allowed 6 goals, if I'm not mistaken, if he played the whole game. But I mean, he used to be a brick wall last season. So I mean, it's a pretty stunning performance. They played pretty well throughout the first 3 games. They're 3-0. They've got the most points in the NHL currently. So I mean, looking pretty hot. So yeah. On the opposite side, we've got the Sabres who went off on a rough start. Luckily, they won their fourth game, but they went from 0-3 to 1-3. So pretty trash to start out. I believe they're one of the lower teams, of these standings, if not the lowest.
Yeah,
What are your
and I
thoughts
mean,
on them?
on the Sabres or
Yeah,
on
no,
Utah? Well, I'll give you my thoughts on both, low key. So, I mean, when it comes to Utah,
might as well.
uh, the way that expansion draft works in the NHL is that teams get to protect a certain amount of players on their roster, and then the rest kind of go into a pool. I should have looked up his name, but whoever the GM is who built that roster, I mean, he's done a great job already, and it's
Yeah,
super early. This doesn't mean that they're even gonna like win the division, but it looks much better than some other franchise, like the team they beat in the first game against Chicago. Like Chicago is a dumpster fire, and it has been. And they added Connor Bedard, of course, and like that's a stud. He scored a goal in that game against Utah. But it reminds me of when Vegas was started up, and Vegas hit the ground running, and they make it to was it the conference finals their first year. But either way, it just
yeah.
looks like Utah is replicating the early success that we saw from Vegas, and and I will be honest, like I don't know every player on that roster. I'm learning these guys as I go because I mean they
Oh,
were
I made
go
a
ahead.
note. Dylan Gunther's been playing pretty well. He's
Yeah, he
one of
has
their
five
main
goals, right?
offensive. Yeah, I mean, I think in every game except, I mean, I saw on the betting page over the last 5 games, he's had at least 2 points in the last 5 games, except for one. And
Mhm.
the past 2 games after that, he's had 2 points as well, if not more. So, I mean, he's been playing pretty well. He's a integral part of that team. So, look him
Yeah,
make a
him,
lot of
their
points this season.
captain. I believe his name is Keller. I mean, like they've got some great skill position, like skaters on the ice. Defensively, they are allowing a fair amount of goals. So I mean, on that end, they could definitely clean it up. I noticed that while watching some of their highlights, because I can't watch every game, but that like
You
I think
can.
it was I saw some like power play goals go in against them, so they might need some power play defense to improve a little bit. And they were kind of unlucky against the Rangers. There was Keandre Miller throwing it off the glass, and it bounces into an empty net because the goalie like
Yeah,
circled
pretty
back
wild.
around to go collect it. So I mean, that was kind of a lucky bounce that the Rangers received and kind of helped them get to overtime. But again, in overtime, the gosh, I hate. I was almost about to just call them the hockey club. They need a mascot. I brought it up
I
last
mean,
week.
that is the hockey club,
But every club is a hockey club. Like that's so
I
stupid.
mean, yeah, but it's the Utah Hockey Club, I guess.
I
It's
know, but
very
like it was
specific.
just because like you don't always say
Pretty
like
tragic.
the Detroit
I mean,
Red
I just
Wings.
wish
You'll
they
say the
couldn't
Red
have
Wings.
I mean, well, yeah, but like, are they going to continue with the hockey club or are they going to eventually change it to something that actually makes sense or actually could be something that is cool to say?
I
But
think
like,
initially I thought that they were gonna just like have this
why
as a
wouldn't they just
placeholder,
like,
but I mean,
I
dude,
mean, yeah, but why
they
even
might be
have
a
a
weird.
placeholder at that point?
Oh, I
You know?
agree. I mean, that's stupid too. But
Like when you make
yeah,
a
at
team and
this
you move
point, I
someone,
feel
you
like
know you're gonna make a new team. You know you're gonna have a new name, a new logo, etc. Why not just think
yeah.
of one?
Dude, and that, you know what,
Just
the worst
dropping the
part, and I don't
ball.
know it for a fact, they probably had like a consultation team come out. They're like, all right, give us some ideas. And they settled on like they paid for the name, the hockey club. Like, I don't know that for sure,
Yeah.
but I mean, billion dollar teams don't just like rely on one guy named Steve to be like, we're the hockey club, like they bring people in.
Yeah. Steve's
But
Hockey Club.
anyway, point being, I mean, it's a hell of a start for them, man. And again, it's not unprecedented because we saw it when Vegas came out as an expansion team. So I mean, it's looking good for them. On the flip side of
Yeah.
skills and
Also
wins and
heard they've
everything.
got one of the best seats in NHL. They've got like a part where like the second floor kind of overhangs over the ice, and it's like literally right there next to a goalie as well. So it's pretty sick.
Oh, it's pretty dope.
Um, so I would assume that those tickets are pretty expensive, but I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, I would assume that other, I guess, future stadiums would have something along those lines.
Maybe,
At least
and
they
I will
should.
say those ticket prices aren't coming down anytime soon if they keep playing the way that they're playing. On the other
Nope.
end of things, you mentioned the Sabers. They did get that win last night against
Yeah,
Florida, but
surprisingly, I
before
don't know
that,
how they did that, but
that's the thing too is that I think
I
like
guess they just had to win. I mean, I don't know.
well, and we kind of got used to playoff hockey where it's like you're going all out every game, and not to say that Florida was just lackadaisical, but it's kind of difficult to go 82 games trying as hard as you do during the playoffs. And so, like, we go back to the regular season last year. I mean, the Sharks won games, the Ducks won games. Like, bad teams do win games at times. So, I mean,
Yeah,
it's not completely
they may not
uncommon.
have cared that much about that game as far as the
Sure.
Panthers are concerned.
And like you mentioned on the other end, I mean, you're just extremely motivated to get off this losing streak that you've started the season with. And so you probably come out with a lot
Because
more
I mean,
energy
nobody
and
wants
motive.
to replicate what the Coyotes did last year. What was it, like 16 games in a row that they lost or something ridiculous?
It
It
was
was
so
just
bad they moved the
it was a bad
franchise.
streak. At least one of the straws that broke the
Oh,
camel's
I'm
back.
kind of dumb. All right, so it's not completely an expansion, it's a move. So this is partially the Coyotes roster, right?
Yeah. I mean, basically
Yeah.
all of their accolades go over there.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Ignore what I said earlier about the expansion team. I totally forgot about that. Zoned out on that one. Yeah.
Nice,
But
dude.
I mean,
Good
hey,
one.
what a fucking start for that poor franchise last year, and then they go to
Yeah.
Utah and they're looking amazing right now.
But
Um,
yeah, I mean, anything can happen because last year Edmonton started out really, really horrible, and they ended up going pretty far.
yeah, 100.
So,
Percent And I mean that we talk about it, or we have talked about it in past episodes where we're as soon as a coach is fired, we'll let you know. But there can be like a pretty big boost to the team whenever you bring in a new coach, as far as a change in tactics or a change in just like who you're hearing every day. Like this coach pissed me off. I'm unmotivated to fight for him. Bringing a new guy and all right, I'll try a little harder. I mean that's exactly what happened in Edmonton, to be honed,
yeah,
and better
I mean,
tactics too.
especially with the bond with McDavid and the new head coach.
100.
Forgot his
Percent
name.
It's dang, I forgot his name too. I had it a second ago.
Nice.
Totally lost it there.
It's all right.
Anyway, but moving on. So Keaton, the Detroit Red Wings and the Dallas Stars started their seasons
Oh, I
up.
wanted to mention
Oh,
that
go for
Macklin
it.
Celebrini did
Oh
score his
yes,
first goal.
thank you.
Pretty nice. The first of the first draft, of course. Did score his first goal in his first game. Was pretty, I guess, integral in that moment. But unfortunately, went to IR, I believe. So unfortunately, he's hurt. Got a lower body injury, whatever that means. But yeah, hey, we've got a star in the making, I would say. But yeah,
Okay, so he's obviously talented, but I'm gonna have to. It's gonna sound like I'm such a hater. His goal is obviously setting up for an assist. He has the puck on the right side, does a 360, swings it behind him, and he's looking to feed a player. It goes off a St. Louis Blues skate and goes in. I
yeah,
mean,
totally serendipitous.
yeah, like I mean, he's luck was favoring him on that day. He scored his goal. I mean, good for him, and he is talented. Like, I'm not saying that he's a flop by any means, but I don't know. I don't want to give him too much credit for that goal. But he does go down the very next game. That was against Utah, right? The injury? Or I'm
Oh, I
sorry.
think it was
No,
the
no,
same
no.
game.
Oh, was it against the Blues?
Yeah, I think it was like at the end of the game.
Okay, yeah. So
But
essentially,
I don't know.
player
I mean, I
comes
could
from
be
behind
wrong.
him. I remember how he went down. I forget the uniform that his opposition was wearing, but essentially, he's going at goal. It's just him in the net, and behind him, or him in the goal, and behind him, a defender comes in, takes out his skate. He goes down to the ice and then hits the wall. And I think I saw someone saying that the injury occurred when he impacted the wall rather than the fall or the trip. But yeah, it's a lower body injury, so we'll see. I mean, we have no idea exactly what the injury is because hockey is hockey.
Could be his toe. Could be his thigh. You know, who
Could have
knows?
broke the femur. Who knows? But
Could be a groin injury. You never know.
could be a groin. But yeah, so he's out for an indefinite period. They have him on IR. It's a week to week basis, but at minimum, he is out 7 days from his previous game. So we will hopefully he comes back, man. I like seeing the young talent come up. I will call out if he's gonna do too much credit for a goal he didn't really do anything for, but no, he's real talented. He was the number one overall pick for a reason. Um, but yeah, I mean, we'll see him soon. Hopefully, I know when we saw Bedard and his rise last season, that was pretty awesome, honestly. So I hope that Celebrini is able to experience. I mean, even half of that. But yeah,
Yeah.
moving on, Keaton. Our teams were in action this week. Finally, they are back. Tell us a little bit about the Detroit Red Wings.
Well, our first game, we played a pretty bad game against the Penguins on Thursday. Main takeaway is Billy Huso is trash. But that was kind of the main takeaway last year, but maybe that was just me. Who knows? He allowed 4 goals and 14 shots. Cam Talbot had to come in and save the day, so to speak. He ended up playing a little bit better. I mean, he unfortunately allowed 2 goals on 14 shots, but I mean, that was half of what Huso did. Um, Definitely not on the goalie because everyone's got to just kind of pick up any kind of defensive block shots, do their thing, make some hits. But you know, just kind of sucks.
The Red Wings suck.
Um, no, the defensive effort on that first game. But hey, we turn it around in the second game. But that first game, we have DeBrincat getting 2 goals, which is pretty nice. Lucas Raymond had 2 assists, and Tarasenko, our new offseason addition, did score a goal in that game as well, which is pretty sick. Next game, we ended up winning 3-0. Cam Talbot had 42 saves and drew the start. Much, much better than what Huso did in addition to. I mean, he got through 42 shots. That's pretty ridiculous. So, in the zone, pretty nice. And Lucas Raymond, I believe, again had two assists in that game. So pretty good player, pretty awesome. Glad we re-signed him, and he's playing pretty well.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Who'd y'all play in that first game again?
The first game was the Penguins.
Penguins. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah,
pretty.
no, I mean, y'all are 1-1 again. It's super early in the season. I mean,
2 games out of 82.
yeah, but I like seeing Lucas Raymond keep up his stuff. Like I remember when Lucas Raymond was a rookie. Was that 2 years ago? He was a rookie.
I'm not 100% sure, but probably.
I remember I was playing fantasy hockey at
Could
the
be 3.
time. Picked him up in free agency, and I mean he was just going off and lining up as a youngster. So I like to see that he's still continuing that. Not that he'd lose all his talent like a Space Jam movie with Monster stealing it or anything, but no, he's a really good young player in the league, and good for y'all to have him. As far as the Stars go, Keaton, when we were on here last week, I predicted that the Dallas Stars would go 2-0 on the week, and you know what they did? They went 2-0. That's what they do.
Against bad teams.
Okay, one of the teams, Utah beats them and they're amazing, and then we beat them and they're garbage. I mean, we can
I
only
mean,
do.
Utah had two other games and they played well. So.
We can only. I mean, we can only play the teams on our schedule. We can't, do anything.
Nah, dude, you change it every week. I'm
That's
sorry.
on me. You're right. You're
You
right.
you do some tinkering all the time.
I will say the Preds game got a little close to the end, and I mean the Preds scored a goal.
Shouldn't be
Uh,
on goals.
it finished 4-3. It was 4-2 for the a good part of that fourth or third period. And the Preds do get one late with like a minute left or something like that. So I mean, they forced it to be a little close, look a little closer on the scoreboard than I think it really was. But
Yeah.
the All Stars made sure that that was not the case in last night's game against the Islanders 3-0. There was an empty netter, but what I was really happy to see was that the goals were scored by Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn. And there were times last year where Tyler Seguin he'll go on really high and then he'll go low, and Jamie Benn same thing. It was almost like opposite actually. So they were like
Streak plan.
fluctuating. Yeah, and so to see them, I know Ben is. I mean, he's so old that he didn't have to wear the glass on his helmet because he was grandfathered in to be face or maskless. And so
Faceless, yeah.
seeing the older guys on the team still have it, that's good to see. I mean, they're not anywhere
Impact.
near Pavelski's age, but we saw towards the end of the season that Pavelski no longer had it, and that was sad to see. And so to see your leaders on the team at an older age still lead by example, it's only going to be, the team's only going to look better when Wyatt Johnson, Logan Stankoven, and the other guy, Marchment, gets in the action some more. Marchment's been shooting a ton. I know he
What's that
scored.
other guy's name? Robertson, I think.
Jason Roberts. Oh my gosh, how could I even forget about him? And then the defensemen can get in the action too, especially Miro Heiskanen. Seeing Otter kind of stand on his head this last game was pretty good to see as well. I mean, there are times in that game where it was all us on attack, and then halfway through the second, out of nowhere, the Islanders started really going at us, and it felt like the ice shifted downhill for them, and so we had to
Didn't even score.
I know because Otter stood on his head. I said it.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So it looks like a good start to the season. Again, it's super early. The Stars play again tonight. Back to backs I never like, but the Kraken are also on a back to back, so should be all right. For the
They
Dallas
did
Stars.
win last night, I believe.
The Kraken.
The Kraken.
I
Yeah.
believe so too. My memory is not great, but I thought I saw that.
Yeah, they won in a shootout
Mm,
against the Minnesota Wild.
that's wild, bro.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll be necessarily that close. That one's going to happen in Dallas.
Looks like the Blue Jackets beat the Avalanche and they did a whole reshift, over the off season, so it's looking okay for them, I guess.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Getting a new
Keenan,
GM coach, etc.
do you want to get into some predictions
About what per se?
the upcoming week?
Oh, yeah, sure, dude.
All right.
I mean,
Give
you're
me
just
a
saying predictions about what, dog?
who's winning the Super Bowl?
Gotta know. Me.
Okay.
Me, myself, and I. Just me, dog.
I didn't realize the Cowboys
It
were
looks like we
higher
play
than
the Rangers twice. Jeez. Jeesh. And then the Predators again. That's pretty sick.
you. Before
So
you get into the
yeah,
Red
we play the
Wings,
Rangers twice, and then the Predators.
give me a blind prediction. Does Utah, when we return next week, is Utah still undefeated?
I don't know. They'll probably lose one or two games.
No faith.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
You
I
think the
still feel like
Stars are still going to be undefeated?
it's possible. I still feel like an idiot.
It's possible.
I still feel like an idiot for saying Utah is an expansion team when they just moved from Arizona. That one's gonna haunt me.
Does no research whatsoever.
During the I just blanked during the editing process, dude. I'm gonna be so mad while listening to that again. I hate myself.
Nice, dude.
My
That's
B
pretty good.
fans, but this is why it's called What's Hockey. I mean, we're still learning it week to week. Keaton, go ahead and
Yeah,
tell
dude.
us what the Red Wings are gonna do this upcoming week.
3-0. We're just gonna win win every game every single time. No, I feel like we'll probably go either 1-2 or 2-1. I either get like a overtime win.
Well, who are y'all playing? Like,
Um,
tell me
I just said two Rangers games and
when.
one Predators
Are
games.
they back to back?
Uh, the Rangers, I don't know if it's like days back to back, but we play the Rangers back to back. So we play the Rangers on Monday and Wednesday. No, Thursday, Monday and Thursday.
Hmm.
So I feel like Thursday we'll probably win, but Monday we'll lose, and then we'll play the Predators on Saturday. Probably beat them again. Ain't no thing.
Yeah.
It is pretty interesting though. They only seem to have gotten better with Marchessault and what was that other guy? Stamkos. He came over, so I mean it's kind of interesting that they're not playing any much better than they were last season because they weren't
Any
that
much
bad.
better?
Anything wrong with that?
It just didn't flow well. I
I
don't
don't
think
care.
is any much better grammatically correct.
Is it incorrect?
Kind of. I mean, you could say they're not playing any better, or they're not playing much better, but they're not playing any much better.
I think it's not
All
different.
right. Anyway, I'll tell you what the Dallas Stars are going to do, though. They're going to go ahead and play tonight against the Kraken. It'll be in Dallas, and we will win. So we'll start 3-0. We'll
I
move
think the
on
female
to.
coach is gonna get that win.
You're kind of
Sorry to
obsessed with
say.
her. You're a little obsessed with the female coach on their team. You don't even know her name. You just call her the female coach.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
so bad.
You know, you gotta praise the success. You know what I'm
The views
saying?
of
It's
Keaton
pretty hard to
Meyer do
break through and
not.
get a new NHL coach. Come on, dude. They're like recycle on recycle. They have so many people that just we'll just use you because you were there at that one place.
Hmm.
So I
Keaton
mean, come on,
Meyer's
man.
sexist views are not reflected by What's Hockey
I'm not
Incorporated.
even sexist. How am I sexist, bro? I'm telling her that she should win.
The female coach. Moving on. After
Yeah,
we take
no.
care of business against the Kraken, the
I don't know
Sharks will
any
come in
other
town.
coach's name.
Bro,
Get the
let
hell
me
out of
talk. Oh my god.
here.
Shut
Nobody
up.
cares about the stars,
You're
bro.
like digging your
They're
grave
just gonna
deeper and
lose.
deeper. Moving
Yeah,
on. The Sharks come to
this guy
town.
does no research.
God. You don't know her name. You've done no research on who she is.
Yeah,
Moving on. The
I
Sharks
said her name
come to
last week.
Dallas. And we're going to beat them. Moving on after that, we go to Washington to take on the Capitals. We'll go ahead and beat
They're
that
gonna
game.
lose.
Next Saturday, the
I
Oilers
forgot the
come to
name.
town. It'll be a redemption game, but unfortunately, I do think the Oilers win that. It's Knobloch, right? That's their coach.
Yeah, probably sounds right.
Um, I will say the Oilers win that game. So, of the next 4 games in the upcoming week, I will say the Dallas Stars go
You
three
guys
and
play
one,
4 games.
and we will be sitting 5-1 by the next time we record.
That's some good math. I also forgot
Wait,
to
yeah.
mention slash notate that Ovechkin is 41 goals from tying Gretzky's all-time goals. So if he gets 42 on the season, he should eclipse that,
About
which
a
is kind of
goal every
crazy.
2 games.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that's
I mean,
technically
I feel like it's
possible.
possible, but like,
You're
he's
still
pretty
asking a
old,
lot, but yeah, no.
Yeah. I mean,
Bro,
I feel like there might be some sort of sense of like, hey man, let's just
dog, Keaton, he's so old,
let him
he
do
was
it.
technically born in the USSR. That's
Yeah.
not even a fucking joke. Like, he wasn't
No,
born
like
in
he
like.
was old last season, and I was like, dang, that guy's still like doing stuff. So I mean, I don't know his stats last season, but I mean,
Last year,
he
he
might want to
got.
try to play another season and get
Last year, he
that
got
goal
31.
record.
He got
31.
31 in 79
Yeah.
games, so he only missed
He'll probably get
3.
like 20 to 30, maybe high 30s, but I don't know.
Bro, his
It'll be
first
kind of
season
stretching it.
was 2005, 2006. If he decides to go one more season after this one for that record, That'd be 20
That's
years
20.
in professional hockey. That is
Is that the
nuts.
longest anybody's ever gone?
No, hockey's got some long careers for some players. Let me see. I'll look it up right quick. Longest
Sorry, I'm a bit distracted watching a different game, you know.
is it hockey?
No, it's not. It's
What? Seasons. Oh, he's not close. Well, he's close but not close. Chris Chelios and Gordie Howe played 26 seasons. You got Mark
that's
Messier at
crazy. What in the
25.
hell?
Yeah,
They must
yeah.
have been really young when they came in, I guess. But like, gosh,
First
that
season
sounds ridiculous.
1983, 84, and then last
26?
season. Bro, this is nuts. Chris Chelios' first season was 83 to 84. His last season was 09 2010. Dog, do you know how much the
That's
world changed in that
ridiculous.
much time? Like my God,
Yeah.
I was
He
16
didn't
years
even
away
know what
from being
emails
born,
were.
and then I went to high school. Like that was my first year of high school.
That's ridiculous.
That's stupid. All right, but yeah, I don't have too much more to add unless we got some more insane records you want to talk about or anything else, Keaton.
I don't really know too much, but we should be looking at a great season of hockey. And
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, all right. Well, appreciate y'all for coming through for another episode. We'll be back next week for sure. Y'all take it easy.
let's go
Peace.
Red Wings.